Good evening.
How is everyone?
Yeah, very good.
We've finally got a full house. I see. Absolutely fantastic.
How long has it been since we've had like 4 on the live stream? A bloody long time.
A long time. Yeah,
Tom is a very welcome guest tonight, I tell you.
Absolutely.
Trying to figure out who was the good, the bad, the ugly, and whoever else. I don't know. Whatever order.
Yeah, Jay's the good because he's a school teacher.
All right. Sorry.
There's these things called like holidays, and when I have a holiday, I've got to like switch off and have a rest.
Oh, just cream it and have 6 weeks in one go.
You know what, mate? I was watching them all on a different beach or on the campsite at my mum and dad's house when I went to watch it. Do you know what? It's a really good watch. Like if you're watching it back,
yeah, it's great.
Well, it's entertaining. You've done well, guys. Honestly, I've enjoyed every one of them.
Thank you.
There's been a couple of gaps. Now the gaps, a couple of gaps, weren't there, in the schedule?
Some people just didn't turn up, Jay.
Just commitment for you. Lack of commitment.
Get out of it.
I am part-time teacher, part-time YouTuber.
Yeah. Oh, first things first, Tom. Appreciate you joining us, mate. So, for those of you, which I'm sure everybody in this chat has probably watched my video anyway. To be fair, so Tom, I featured Tom last week on my channel with his 9'2" 1400 litre tank.
Seriously, is it 9'2"?
9'2", 9'2". I don't know where the 2" came from, but
like a
makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Apparently,
he's got 9 foot tank. I don't think 2 inch really makes a difference, does it?
Well, there's a reason behind that.
I want to know. Yeah, go on.
And that was a while ago. I had just short of 8 foot tank in my house, and I just couldn't afford years ago. I just couldn't afford the price of the cabinetry, and when I went to get doors for it, it was a nightmare because everything was metric. So this time round, I thought, learn from my mistakes, get it built in metric, and then if I want to save some money on the cabinetry, I can, which is what I did.
Yeah, that's smart.
Perfect.
So it's 2.8 meters.
Fits the cabinet doors basically, rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
I
made the tank fit the cabinet, not the cabinet fit the tank.
Next time you're going to use garage doors, so you have to get even bigger tank.
That's the one. Yeah. I've already been told I could have had a bigger tank if I'd chosen a different wall. So don't even go there. No.
Oh, is that that's a wind up, surely.
No, seriously.
Oh my god,
Steve, you remember there's the cladding on the wall behind the sofa,
the side wall,
which is about 3.5 meters. So we could have gone probably 10 and a half, 11.
Wow.
I'm not even attempting it. the misses were all right. We're still talking.
Absolutely.
Tom, at what point does it go over a certain level? Like I suppose the size of the tank, when you've really got to start upgrading the kit. I'm going to say to industrial size, but there must be a tipping point. Is that 2,000, 3,000 litres, do you think? Because at the moment, I watch the video, the stuff's in there. You think, I recognise that kind of stuff that you can put, you have in a 400 or 500 litre. I know it's smaller, like, Royal Exclusive. You can get a smaller skimmer, can't you?
Yeah, one of the things that I've sort of had to sacrifice on is the depth. I would have liked a deeper tank front to back. I'll not lie. But by having that would have encroached on the lounge. And then there's a certain size of tank where it's, does the tank fit the room or does the room fit the tank sort of thing. And I was really testing that line. Whereas the missus didn't want you to walk into the lounge and be like, wow, there's a fish tank. Yeah, there's a fish tank, but having it built in and having it slightly narrower than I would have liked has made that a little bit easier. So to answer your question, this is the biggest tank I've had. I've got a bigger tank in the, in the fish house, a bigger system. It's about 2,000 litres. But in terms of answer your question, I invested in the Red Dragon pumps. I'm probably going to end up, I hope, touch wood, not having to put a power head on it. I'd rather end up having to buy bigger return pumps than having to put that one on, but we'll see. But to answer your question, I'd already got a lot of the equipment. I'd been fortunate enough to find some deals on eBay, buy some stuff secondhand off Ultimate Reef and other places and Facebook and etc. And I've just took advantage of, unfortunately, some people shutting down that can't afford to run it, and I've picked up some good deals. But I think for me, the returns and the skimmer are the best, purchases I've put into this system. For me, it's going to bed at night and not worrying.
Yeah. Yeah, and also they're dead quiet as well, aren't they? The Royal Exclusive. I mean, I've never.
I'm surprised.
I've been told
I'm surprised.
You can't hear them. Some people have to open the door to their cabinet just to make sure they're still working, because they are tuned into kind of zero sound. Is my understanding.
Yeah, they are. They're really quiet. And one of the key things that, to be fair, you have to sort of program into your brain to do is you have to power them down before you turn them off. Otherwise, you can void the warranty on them. So if they're running at 80%, 78, whatever percent, you have to dial it down to 0 before you switch the power off, which makes me question what happens if there's a power cut, but we'll see.
Well, I was going to say the same. Yeah. Is it like electrical fault to avoid?
I don't know. To be honest with you, Jay, there's a book like the Yellow Pages to read through, which I haven't started yet, but it's in German, French, Italian, etc. So
yeah. There must be a YouTube video you can watch. Just save yourself.
I suppose you could put a battery. You could put a battery backup on those too, because if there's a power outage, it take it down to 5 or 10%.
Yeah.
And then from 5 or 10%, once the battery goes, hopefully it won't be that long.
Yeah.
Then from that to 0 should be okay.
It's not guaranteed that it will do the damage, but there's a possibility of damage is what it says. So therefore, they're not prepared to cover it, from what I remember somebody telling me.
Crazy,
you don't want to avoid your warranty, do you, on something like that? I guess they're not cheap either, so you should last. Where do you get them sort of things from? Is that like Kraken as well, just like your standard shop, or?
No, I've
never seen them anywhere. I don't think.
I get a lot of I've got a really good relationship with Rachel at H2O Aquatics. Pick up the phone to her, and she'll just give me a very non-biased opinion. She'll say, if you want to spend that money, I advise this, or if you want to save some money, you can buy that, and it does the same as that. And I like that.
Yeah.
H2O is my closest shop.
All right,
15 minutes from me. So I mean, they sell.
Well, it's Rachel's birthday tomorrow, so make sure to send her a card.
I will do.
Hey, happy birthday, Rachel! If she watches this channel, she probably done.
She's probably still working, because she pretty much
got some better to do.
She's in the shop on her own most of the time, isn't she?
Yeah, she's got a shop to.
No, I was fortunate to pick up one of the Red Dragons second hand off Jay of Ultimate Reef, who's a bit of a friend of mine and a bit of OCD. I was like, well, why have one when you can have two? And redundancy, and again, the concept of having no power heads, touch wood. That's why I ended up buying a brand new one from H2O. So I think the one I got from Jay is only 6 months old. So yeah, it's
almost new, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like there's so many deals now, like for second-hand equipment on eBay. I've seen quite a lot of stuff, and I've actually been tempted. There was because I can't afford a brand new setup at the moment, and I saw this Red Sea Reef of 250. Someone had it like 4 months. Basically, mate, it was brand new. 400 quid. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. 400 quid for a brand new tank. But it had a white cabinet. I wanted a black one, so that's why I didn't buy it. But you just said you bought some second. You've got like a dream setup there, but some of your equipment's still second hand.
Well, I mean,
what bits did you buy second hand?
Bought my skimmer second hand.
Did you?
I've had 2 Royal Exclusive skimmers in the last 12 years, and one I bought, I would say probably 10 years ago, and it still runs to this day. And I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not plugging any brand. All I'm saying is I've had various different makes, models. I've upgraded. I've even downgraded on certain equipment, believe it or not. But the Royal Exclusive skimmers, they just don't fall. They're just solid. And I know somebody's going to probably say, I had this problem, but unfortunately, I've been fortunate, should I say. You always get one. I've been fortunate enough that they're good. And the good thing about it, I know we're not part of the EU anymore, but you can go on their website and order spare parts and get them within a few days. It's
like tons of ATOs. Like, no one in the world's had a problem apart from Steve. Steve managed to break his about 3 times. Everybody else It's like it's bulletproof piece of equipment. But yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, you're right there, Jay. So
You're the only
mate. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the other thing as well with the skimmers, though, is that obviously you get the right one and it comes with a controllable pump. So when it comes to the level, you don't have to fanny around raising it up and down in your sump.
Exactly.
You know, it's nice to be able to dial it in accurately.
Mm. Yeah, I must admit, I've got the Nios skimmer, and that's been going for 8 years.
Yeah,
they're really good, loads and loads of bubbles. But the problem is they do have a habit every so often, a couple of times a year, just overflowing, and it's really hard to stop. And I end up having to put egg crate in, take it really high, and then it stops.
Yeah, I've done that before with it.
The other tank I've got a Deltec 400, and that's got a controllable controller in it, and again you can dial that in. So the Nios one's brilliant, but it's not controllable, and sometimes that does cause problems. But it's a
Bubble King ones are rated all right for ozone as well, because obviously there's a couple of different types of acrylic that skimmers are made out of. Yeah. So you can't just go sticking ozone onto any protein skimmer, because it may or may not be able to cope with it. So it's always good researching before you do that. I mean, this is the first build I've run ozone on. I'm not going to sit here tonight and pretend I know everything about everything, because I don't. You know, this is an experimental tank as much as it is my dream tank. So I'm only been running that a couple of hours a night. But it's nice to know that I'm not going to wake up in the morning and my skimmer's melted or cracked or whatever, you know.
Yeah. So why ozone? Because not many people run it, and you hear health warnings.
Why ozone?
And it's got a lot of benefits, but I can't remember what they are, to be fair.
Well, when I first got into the hobby many years ago, well, not as many as some, but a fair while ago, I went to see a tank, and it was Ocean Corals in York years ago. They were on a little business enterprise industrial estate, and they had a show tank, and the water clarity, I've never seen anything like it. It looked like a painting. It was just so clear. And it doesn't matter what I've done over the years, whether I've run filter socks, filter floss, roller filters, water changes, bubble traps, whatever. I've never been able to replicate that sort of crystal clear water, aesthetic in a sense. And I think when you spend all this money in the hobby, whether it's a big build, a small build, whatever, you put your hard-earned cash in it. You want it to look its best.
Absolutely.
So if it's safe to do. If it's safe to do for a couple of hours a night, and you know what you're doing, which again, it's a learning curve for me, then I'm going to do it and see what happens. Plus, don't forget, I'm putting 3 groups of fish in here that have not seen each other before. They've all been swimming around together for 2 or 3 years. So again, when it comes to bacterial, any infection, things like that, I want to sort of restrict that as much as possible. Hence the UVs and the ozone. So we'll see.
So the ozone, I don't know anything about ozone because I've never thought about obviously using it. I've never done any research. There's water clarity. Is it? Do you know if there's anything else? The other benefits of
smell in it. Does it reduce? Does it reduce smell and stuff like that?
I'm not going to get into the scientific talks because there's plenty online to watch. But basically, O2 is obviously you're adding an extra atom basically to it, which basically doesn't know what to do with itself. So it latches onto the nearest thing, as in organics, your water, and it breaks it down. Basically, it is electricity, but it is electricity fed.
Yeah.
I'm stopping there because I know.
I'm gonna say I'm not gonna put ozone on mine. I've not got no space for mine, so I'm not gonna do it. But yeah,
you have, mate. There's loads of room behind that cabin.
No, there's not. Cabinet. There's no space in my cabinet, mate. Well, first thing, we're already 13 minutes in, and we've not even done our customary hellos to everybody. So we need to see who's in the house as always. How rude was Jay? You know what I mean? How rude, Jay? How dare you?
No, we're just getting interested in the conversation. Tom's educating me.
Well, we've got 2 hours. 2 hours of it. Don't worry about it, mate. So first thing, Tony. Evening, Tony. Hope you're well.
Unbelievable.
Hey?
No commitment. Who's that,
Tony? Evening, quiet. John, as always. Techers. Drippy Reef Geek.
Nice one, mate. Sitting in his pants. I don't know if we want that, to be honest.
That's not a nice fault, is it?
Get some clothes on. You can't be watching 4 blokes with your pants on.
He's got his Y fronts on.
Oh dear.
Mickey Boy's in the house, evening Mickey. Stuart. We've got Reef 216. We have Marek, evening Marek. Cornish Reefer. Trevor Rhodes. Let's have a look who else. Darren, evening Darren. He says, welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good to be back. I don't know what to do. I'm a bit rusty.
Wood is in the house, evening Woody. Our good friend Nerian. Evening Nerian. Well,
where's his logo gone? He's got rid of his logo and he's upgraded for it. He's got his tank there, hasn't he, I suppose?
He has.
Normally got his YouTube logo.
Let's see who else. Orange Reef. Evening. Paul's in the house. Evening, Paul. And finally, Rich. Rich is in the house. So evening, chat, and ladies and gentlemen. Yes, thank you. So if any of you's got any comments or questions for Tom, post them up.
Well, there's a question.
Sure he's aware. What's that?
I mean, he's getting a custom-made glass
top.
Should I wrap it in white or black? How's the light going to get through it for a start? Am I reading this wrong here, son?
It's a top up.
Top up.
Oh, top up tank.
I thought it was going on top of the tank. I'm like, it's going to be pitch black. I had a vision it was going on the top there. I was like, what the hell?
Oh, right, I see, yeah.
I would go with...
you wrap it white or black?
I'd go white.
I'd go white because I've got on the DD the whole sump is wrapped in white and it shows up all the dirt and the crap, so it's easier just to keep it clean.
Yeah, and it's cooler in theory, but
it's what? Sorry,
it reflects a little bit of heat, won't it? If it's white,
it's not helping today.
What?
It's not helping today.
Well, today in theory.
I'll be curious to know what everybody's tanks been over the last few days. We've got any crazy statistics to share.
Can you post your temperatures in the chat? Who's broke the record in the last week?
I would say not something you want to be proud of necessarily.
I think Paul's getting close. Put yours in, Paul. You got pretty hairy numbers this week, haven't you?
That was yesterday, last night.
Can I just ask? I can't carry on this live stream before asking a question, right? Which fish like to swim in half a tank of water? That's what I want to know, Paul. You tell us which species like just their tanks filling up halfway up. What's going on there, mate? Why have you got half a tank of water?
I think that is that is clean. That is not clean.
What?
I think yeah.
It is up to the top. I can't see it.
Yeah, you've actually got the same tank.
No, but it looks like it's only like 2/3 of the way up.
Yeah.
Talking about tanks, Jay, how's your tank been since you've been away for the last 6 months? Who's been looking after it?
No one really. The most I left it was 10 days. So I left it with a camera on, kept watching it with my little Google camera. I had a massive bucket for my ATO, so obviously that was topping up. That Tunzi never fails, mate. Kept going, heartbeat. And I've got obviously my dosing going on. I have my auto feeder. I tell a lie, my mother-in-law came and she put a little bit of frozen in, like a little bit of mysis every couple of days. But you know what? I've figured out this is a bit of a bombshell. My tank is better without me. I swear to God. I swear to God, apart from the glass.
You're not putting your hand in it.
I know, that's it. I'm not prattling around with it. Because, you know, when you sat looking at it, you feel like you've got to, like, I don't know, move something, touch something, feed something, dose something. Yeah. So I just left it, mate, and it, apart from the glass, it don't need me anymore. Just clean the glass, that's it. Which is, it's a good, but so no major problems, mate. It's just, I suppose it's because it's like 3 years old. It's in that natural rhythm, as it were. And I dose the same elements, that's stable. The light settings are all stable. So nothing changes. So it just, I reckon.
That's done it.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, 10 days. I reckon you could get away with 2 weeks, 14 days, I reckon, with an auto feeder and just someone dropping a bit of frozen in. Yeah. Mate, no issues to report.
Fair play then.
But again, obviously, I've got a bit lucky because like none of my pumps had stopped or none of me, you know, anything like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have to have a bit of luck, don't you?
You do, because a lot of people I know that go on holiday and it's the one time that something goes wrong.
Oh,
the amount of stories I've heard where people have just gone, "Oh, we'll go for a long weekend here, or go for a week here, and come back," and it's just like, really, shouldn't have done that. But
I saw someone on
when you're not there, but yeah,
I saw someone on Facebook who came home from their holidays. It looked like it just flooded the whole downstairs. Can you imagine that? Just like walking in, you're paddling, and you're
mate, the worst nightmare.
That is your worst nightmare.
Well, funny you should say that. Yesterday, the leak detector went off on this tank, and I got an alert, and the skimmer overflowed, and it went down the back of the tank, and it was only a small amount of water, but it triggered the leak detector.
Well, that's good.
I put the leak detector at the back because obviously then it doesn't show, and of course the skimmer's gone down the back. So I don't know why the skimmer was having a fit on this. I don't know why. So I've adjusted it now and just keep an eye. But I got a message and I was out the garden. And I didn't realise, and I wouldn't have noticed until probably quite a while later, and it would have maybe flooded more. But there we go. So that's just for the ATO, because obviously
it works.
Yeah, we have.
It works, doesn't it? Have you put your little weir gate down a bit so it's doesn't overflow? Yeah.
I think that's probably why.
Yeah, mine was a bit active when I had like first 6 months. My one used to be quite active, but then it got dialed in. Basically, got sludged up, I think, and then it just stopped doing it.
Yeah, it's also got quiet to where it slimes up a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. A bit of slime helps it, I think.
Yeah,
keeps it smoother
not as noisy.
28 is that the highest at the moment?
I think so.
Yeah, 28 so far. I mean,
28.
all similar areas. 26, 27ish.
That's pretty high.
I mean, mine got up to 20. It's only got up to 26.1, but it might have got up late or higher. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. You know what I mean? But yeah, so far, like I've switched all my heaters. Mine's just running on the heat of the room. You know what I mean? No heaters on or anything. It's just like running the way it is. So, because last time when I had it on, I think it not scared me, but it just fingered when it went a bit mad. That heat on, and for some strange reason, I don't know to this day.
It's the noise for me that the D&Ds do, the beeping. When you come downstairs and you hear that beeping, it's just like, no.
Beeping, yeah. So it's like, switch it off. And it's just, and like I said, it still stayed at 26, 26.1, 26.2. So it's all like that. As long as it don't go 27, 28.
Is it 28.2 or something? It's around there.
28, yeah.
Just over 28, where you start to face coral death on certain sensitive corals. Wait, Paul's laughing at me.
No, you said that yesterday.
Yeah, it's just over 28. It's 28.2 or 28.3 or something like that.
The temperature
where you start to, it's too hot for coral. Yeah. And below 23.
Yeah, so it's all
golden window.
25.7, 25.8.
That's perfect, isn't it?
It's all looking.
Never goes above.
That's good.
Where's he live in a church or something? Jesus. Must live in a frigging air raid shelter or something, bunker. How's he keeping that steady?
Seconds he put all types 25.6. So everyone's it's not that bad really. It's not as bad as when we had.
Go on, sorry.
When we had that mega heat wave, remember when we had that really hot?
Yeah, the 40s last year.
It was all going through the roof. That was going through. Yeah,
that was
worrying. That was worrying them. That was not good. No, my tag went really high then. So, but yeah, I mean, thankfully, look, I mean, I started to lose some of the coral, but thankfully it wasn't the best coral. It was the some bit of the ceratopia, that stuff, which seemed to just didn't like it, you know what I mean? But so I just snapped that off, and a little piece of the stylo which went white, and I was like, it's got to have something to do with the heat. But thankfully, it's all bounced back and recovered, and none of the other ones that I really like never really bothered, you know what I mean? To be fair, so I think it's like in a sudden change, if it's sudden, in it, and it rises dead quick, then that might be the issue, you know what I mean? Whereas if it rises slowly, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's definitely spikes. It's no different to your alkalinity or anything else. It's just if they're stable, whether it's at high temperature or low temperature, it's the shock, it's the spike that shocks everything. 100% from my experience, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look. If tank temperature raises, just add an air stone to your sump. Yeah, true.
Yeah, fair point.
Very true.
I turned my lights off in that last heat wave. You know, that last one that was like 40 degrees.
Yeah.
I had to turn my lights off for a couple of days. Just going on natural.
I'm saying
corals weren't too happy, but
surely the temperature changes in the sea at tide times.
Well, it will do.
Yeah, but there's a lot more water volume there, isn't there?
It will in Skegness, John. You're right there. It gets baking up to about 10 degrees in Skegness. No, he lives in Skegness, does John? Right,
no, I don't follow people around, Jay.
Only John. I've only got time to follow John.
Oh dear.
Hot week. Is it not? It's cooling down though next week, so that's all right. We're all back in the. I think so.
Fair point, mate. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Don't turn the lights off. Just running through the night instead. Yeah, but it's cool. Yeah, time. Very good point. Yeah, good point.
No, I didn't think of that one. But that's a good idea. Yeah, but the corals, like, they actually know, don't they? Like, they have like a body clock, like we do, don't they? They do. Like, they know what time of day it is. Like, they respond.
Knocking on glass.
No, you don't think so? No, honestly.
Turn the light on, Jay. It's 8 o'clock.
No, honestly. Like, if you put them on at night, they'll go, what's going on here? This is night time. Why you put the lights on? Like
sunglasses on.
When you go in the bedroom and put light, you're asleep.
Have you got a clip on the back of that tank?
Turn the light off, idiot. It's night time. It's true. Like, they know. Like, mine slowly start to like get ready for bed, don't they? And stuff like
that. Coral hotel.
They like
bedtime stories with my tank.
You can see that coming. That'll be a good YouTube channel.
I'll tell you that.
Do you know what? YouTube, somebody would bloody watch it, wouldn't there? Somebody would watch it.
Jay sat there reading his tank a bedtime story. Yeah, Jay, you got to do that, mate. That'll be a
yeah, no, but like LPS, they like go through a cycle throughout the day, and obviously, I don't know if it's to do with the light. It probably isn't.
Jay, just stop. You're trying to justify it.
But to be fair, that's a good point. That is, and if it works, it works.
What, a bedtime story?
No, they're turning the lights on at night. Apart from your neighbours, a bit like, Jesus, look how bright that house was over there.
What's he growing next door?
What's he growing? Local Bill going round at 3 a.m. to see all your lights on growing.
Yeah.
Growing coral.
Yeah, you'd have the pods bursting through your door, mate. For sure. That?
It's not Manchester. I live in Manchester.
You'd have the police bursting through your door thinking you're growing something else, mate. You know what I mean? At 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's probably wise to stick to what you know, Jay. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's see. John, hope it's cool on Monday. So Ryan at Prestige Reef can send. Yeah, that's the problem when you get things shipped out in this heat.
Yeah,
yeah, they probably held off, don't they? To be fair,
I wouldn't send anything out.
Would they?
I wouldn't send anything out. I know, you put it in a poly box and you don't put any holes in it. You don't need a heat pack, so it should be okay. But I must admit, I wouldn't ship anything.
Oh, in this heat,
just in case. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I prefer it to be cold because at least you've got a heat pack in there, and you know it's going to have some kind of reasonable temperature. If you get a temperature spike, then you got, especially if it's SPS, I think you got a good chance of it bleaching and being stinky and grey when it turns up. So I probably wouldn't.
That's what I said. I thought he was saying it as well. Then I thought I had someone who agreed with me. Cheers, mate. No. All right, okay. Do you know, like when you have you been to Amsterdam on your holidays or something?
Putting some on his cornflakes, Mugsy.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you have, mate.
But you know, like when you go to bed and you're like,
I know what you're saying.
To your corals.
Up at 7 every morning. You get up at 7
night
every morning for work. Like,
No,
obviously
he
don't work with Mogsy because he does shifts, doesn't he? So he gets up at different times for work. But like, if you get up at 7 every morning, he gets to Saturday and Sunday, you get up at 7 still. Like you have to set an alarm. Yeah, it's like the corals. They don't know what time it is. They just know what they're doing.
Yeah, they go on the moon cycle in the ocean and stuff like that. Yeah, they go because time changes, doesn't it? So they go on the moon cycle. You know what I mean? But on the lunar cycle, sorry, the lunar cycle. Yeah. But like in your tank, I get what you mean. Like, so say for instance, if you decided, right, I'm going to change my time now. Your corals won't come out until the light hits it. Once the light starts to hit it, then then they'll start to open up. But they won't open up if you kept those lights off for like God knows how long, say 15 hours or something. They won't open up fully. They might open up a little bit, but then when the lights hit, then they'll open up. You know what I mean? But whether they know, exactly. I don't think. Can't differentiate time. I don't think, but you know what I mean. I don't know. You never know, mate.
You'll get home one day. They'll be watching Netflix.
Well, that's it.
Oh yeah, this was a good one. Paul from Reef Community. He had corals growing in a bucket in his back garden. He says, bird's nest. I remember him saying this. God, I'm sure it was on his channel. He said he had it in his back garden. It still lived. I don't know how the hell that lived, but you know what? Yeah, don't have a clue about that one. Let's have a look, Mickey. Jay, you leave your lights off all day.
It's a good way of saving money as well.
It is.
There's some tanks about though that don't even have lights on them in some places around Europe. They just use natural sunlight, don't they? So
There's coral farms in Indonesia that just use natural sunlight as well. Yeah. Obviously, because
we love it.
They keep them in the ocean as well, Jay.
Yeah,
they don't read them bedtime stories though. That's it. I'll stop now. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Hey, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to set my new YouTube channel up. Might get more views. What's he laughing at then?
Oh, mate. Yeah, this is mad. You know what, Jay? We've missed you, mate. I tell you, missed you being on this channel. I
like to get that highbrow element that is missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What he's saying, it's 32 in London. Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, that's hot. Freaking hell. It's just that mugginess, isn't it? It's
like
just sweating all the time, aren't you? No matter what. I've had 3 showers today, mate. 3 showers, and I'm still like, it's just horrible. I freaking hate feeling like this. It's horrible, it is. And I live in a tiny house compared to people. But let's have a look. Does Jay pop in and give him a good night?
Decorated? When you're decorating?
What?
When you're decorating? I've been away 6 weeks.
No, everybody.
I thought you might be decorating.
Oh no, mate! Freaking hell, no, none of that. I've been on strike action a lot of the time, to be fair. So decorating has been the last of my problems, but yeah, no, we're thinking about it. We don't know if it's going to be towards Christmas or whether it's going to be just after Christmas. But we are decorating.
Make sure we have a video, please.
We'll have to look at. I was thinking of then selling all my gear, out my tank, all my corals, getting rid. And starting again. So, because it's come to the point, I spoke about this, where it's come to the point now where there's nowhere for my tank to go to. You know what I mean? It's actually completing it. Like, I've done it. What I set out to achieve was to sustain it, let it live, let it grow, and fill out. And it's done all of those sort of things. So
you're doing what it does, Mogs. You're just telling yourself for enough reason to get a bigger tank. It's fine.
Exactly. But it is, mate. It is. But it does. It just makes sense, mate. It's just like, where do you go now? Do you know what I mean? How many times do I keep saying, like, God, you know what? Like, freaking, I can't add any more coral. Can't do this. Can't do that, because I just can't do it. It's not like I don't want to. It's just like I haven't got the space. You know what I mean? So. It's one of those times. It's definitely within the next six months or so. I reckon I'll probably have had a new tank by then, but we'll see. You know what I'm like. Things happen, don't need life, so we'll see.
Newly decorated room, brand new tank, mate. That'd look spot on. Yeah. Why you obviously not going to get rid of all your coral, though? Are you going to keep that and put it in your new tank? Surely.
No, I'm going to get rid of the majority of the coral, but be special. But the special ones, mate, the special ones, I'm going to be keeping.
Like rainbow.
Special ones. The rainbow chalice, some of the torch corals.
Stylo Mogsy anyway for my tank.
You can have some of that, mate, no problem whatsoever.
take the whole rock out.
Absolutely. Yeah, freaking hell. Yeah.
Then you can carve it
cover
up.
that rock. Yeah, so I am going to get rid of a lot of the SPS will be gone. I reckon I'll get rid of a lot of that. Just like the mainly the soft, like the bubble coral and the scully and the ones that mean a bit. I've had them for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but then I would probably go, like I said, predominantly like Tom's going is all SPS, but like really colourful SPS. Hopefully, try and keep those sort of things going. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, mate. You know what I mean? It's quite some way off at this moment in time. Like I said, I've got to decorate first, but that's the plan. And then it's like a new journey, then, isn't it? Like Tom's excited. It's always great, and it's like Christmas Day, isn't it? So and you learn every day, don't you? In this hobby, so well, not like Christmas Day, yeah.
It is at the minute. We're nearly ready for fish, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Then rephrase that. Setting it up and getting it all planned is not be like Christmas Day. Fair enough, granted. But now it's the best part, mate. Now it's the best part.
Yeah,
adding the fish, getting cycled, adding the fish, getting the choosing your coral, what you want to add into it, and that's the best thing. That's the best thing about it. And then it's just, and then you'll guarantee you'll come to yourself because you know yourself. Yeah, you'll come and you'll go, God, I need another coral. I need another one. And then before you know it, you're like, your plan goes out the window, mate. Trust me, it will go out the window. You're like, I'll get another one. I'll get another one. And yeah,
to say this took a year, I've already picked up on 2 or 3 things that if I did it again tomorrow, I'd change. And there you go.
What would you change, Tom?
Well, yeah, the missus isn't here, so I can say this. I'd probably knock
through.
No. I would have put an external overflow weir at the back, so I didn't have it in the tank. So I probably would have hidden it in the wall behind the tank.
Just so it was flush on your back wall.
I would have had to have sent her away, and it would have been expensive for a spa, whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it breaks up the build, and I'm happy with it. No fault. I'm not saying I'm not happy with it, but just a few things. That if I had did it again, I'd have probably gone a little bit deeper, like I said earlier, in terms of the depth. Always said, "Oh no, we agreed this, love, but that's how it is." Conversation.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
It looks a lot like on Parker's Reef. It looks a lot like his with the
well,
white.
I spoke to Sam. Yeah, I've spoke to Sam through Facebook, Sam Parker. Because I did. I've used the same mechanism as him.
Have you got like the Lamborghini there or the?
Yeah.
Yes. Go on.
So,
oh, nice.
Oh, mate, that's ace.
Soft closing. Thank you.
That is ace. Have you got it? Have you got it where it covers the sand? Like, because that really annoys me the hell out of me. They had dirty sand.
No, because I've gone deep. Because I said this to Steve on when he came around and saw me. I might end up taking some out, but I'm trying to. For me, I'm not going to open a can of worms here, but I did. I did a big bare bottom tank. It took a hell of a long time to get it cycled and get it stable. It really did. Yeah, the benefits were good. Afterwards with detritus and flushing it out and blah blah. But out of the 4 or 5 builds I've done, I've had much more success short term.
Yeah.
With a substrate, and I wanted a big substrate, like I said to Mogsy, because I want to pump flow up, and I don't want sand dunes because you always get a sand dune when you don't want one. So I've got a heavy substrate that hopefully is going to house a lot of bacteria and not a lot of detritus, and enable me to crank the flow up without everything flying around all over the place. So I've got a thick sand bed. It's a base of crushed coral, and then on the top of it, it's got about an inch. Not about an inch, about 10 mil, 15 mil of the Aquamedic large coral, basically sand. But it's more like a calcium reactor media when you look at it. But it's just different, something different. I just want to be something different. To be fair,
where did you get the crushed coral? Because I must admit, all my tanks the sand's been quite fine, and I think now it's probably too fine. And I'd probably want a thicker substrate for that very point.
Crushed coral was from Rachel at H2O. That's I can't remember that. I can't remember who make it now. It might be Carib Sea. I can't remember who it is. Let's have a look. But Yeah, I'll tell you something. You get a lot for the money in terms of spread.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was quite surprised.
It hasn't been as much process, therefore it's probably maybe cheaper per kilogram.
Yeah,
than the stuff that they treat and getting the fine and salt in it and everything else. Whereas they can just put all the bigger pieces they don't want in the majority of the sand in there. So maybe
exactly, because not everybody wants that. Everybody wants the fine, Barbados barley looking sand, white sand, which let's be honest, it lasts for 5 minutes and doesn't stay like that.
Well, that's true.
So I just thought, get something that's heavy, that's got a good chance of growing bacteria on, because it's got a bigger density, and that's what I've gone with, and it saves me having a load more media in the sump really when I haven't got room for it.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. I think that's a good idea, to be fair, and it'll look nice as well. It'll look really smart.
If I can show you,
thank you.
So you can see.
I was going to ask you about your splash showing us the stand and the stuff. Like, have you got?
You see it?
Yeah, mate. That looks
thick,
good.
isn't it?
I like it. Yeah, it's thick.
Is that okay for RAS pieces that big, Tom?
Is that what? Sorry.
Is it okay for RAS?
Well, I've had that conversation with somebody I know who's into fish, and apparently so. But I mean, I'm only putting one RAS in, and it's a Corris RAS. It's a Corris RAS that's about 4 inches long. So
that's a big.
I'm sure I'll read him a bedtime story, and we'll have a conversation.
Well, quite often they'll go into the rock work, won't they? If they can't.
I'm hoping so. I mean, if it doesn't and it's cruel, I'll rehome it, obviously, because I'm not one for that. But yeah. Because I've run bare bottom tanks before with RASs, and it just they look a bit confused, to be fair. So,
did you do your skate, Tom? Did you do your skate?
No, calling it R&R.
Done it. Absolutely. You know what? It
looks ace, doesn't it?
It was one of the best skates. Yeah, that one on the right, the right one. That one's a nice one, but that one I fell in love with. That skate is just like sick.
Yeah,
it really is a really nice skate. That one, for sure.
And they're the same rock types. That one looks darker on the right. Is it different rock types?
Yeah. That one there. That one is just that is class. Definitely perfect for an SBS.
Like plenty of plates, haven't you, as well? And they got plenty of space for flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look, mate. It looks good.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful, mate. Really is. You know what?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's been like a year planning it. In all fairness,
exactly.
Even things like the rock. I know it sounds silly, but you have to draw a footprint of what it's going to be like in your tank before you buy it and make sure. And to be fair to Colin, he was absolutely bang on. I emailed him. I just said, look, you might not remember me because you probably sold hundreds, blah blah blah. I had bought this off you because I bought one for the 6. I bought the one that Steve really likes for my 625 when I built that over during COVID, and it weren't cheap. I won't be honest, but I genuinely think you get what you pay for, especially with what he's done. Yeah. But he even asks you questions like, what cores you keeping? Is it bare bottom? Is it sand? For flow and the scape. And I mean, he's a sculptor. He's got his own studio. This isn't something that's knocked up in China and resold in wherever in the UK. He knows what he's doing. And the beauty of it, once I paid a deposit, excuse me, he started sending me weekly updates with photos on email. What do you think to that? Do you like it? Blah blah blah. So I had the first one, and it was a no-brainer. Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was going to say, did you make any changes while he was sending it you, or did everything he did send you? Was it all like the okay and everything was fine?
The one that you like, he did one for Reef Builders years ago, and that's where I saw it.
Right.
A bit relieved that it was somebody in the UK, because obviously quite often when you watch these things on YouTube and wherever else, it's somewhere in America and you can't get it. So when I realised it was in the UK, I tracked him down and I contacted him, and it was brilliant. And then I messaged him when I knew I was doing the build and said, "This is what I'm thinking of doing." He was like, "Okay, well, what size of the tank? What are you going to do with it? Blah blah blah." Narrowed it down to 3 or 4 different options on his website of similar things he'd done before. Corals were going to be put in, and that's the key thing. It's how it's all shaped so that stuff can grow and flow and everything else. Yeah. And we went from there, and that's probably one of the best purchases I've done with the tank, to be honest with you. I mean, I've spent weeks, as everybody has, when they've had a tank, you know, tea towels all over the floor, Mrs. screaming at you because water's going everywhere. You're trying to milliput stuff, water's gone cloudy. I've been there, had that T-shirt many times, and I didn't want it this time. So I thought I've got the fortunate opportunity of having an empty tank, as in the fish are elsewhere, so I can build it at my leisure in my time.
Yeah.
And that was a big tick in the box, because most people, when they're upgrading, it's water out on a Saturday, water in on a Sunday in a different tank, isn't it? You know, and it's quite a stressful move for a lot of people.
With that kind of rock, you do hear some stories that they leach, like phosphate, or silicate or stuff like that. But I don't know about that type of rock, whether it does or it definitely doesn't, or it may be.
I've had both experiences of it, doing it and not doing it over the years. I'm not going to mention brands. I bought a very similar, well, not similar to be fair, different colour purple rock years ago, and it did exactly that. It leached phosphate like you wouldn't believe, as in not, I wonder what level my phosphate is. It was like blue. Lesson learned, lesson learned. But this is a fishless cycle. There's no coral going in it for, touch wood, 3-6 months. So if it takes 3-6 months, it takes what it does. I've come this far, so why rush it?
Exactly. It may take a year to build it so far, and obviously you take your time with it. When I looked there, I was like, is there any diatoms? Is there any green? There's nothing, is it? How long has it been cycling?
Well, I've only put the light on for tonight, obviously, for people's benefit, in all fairness. I mean, that's only 2 reef brights. Put my teeth back in. Reef brights that are on it now. Just to give it a little bit so you can see the flow behind me. But we're on day 7. I was saying to Steve earlier that if you follow this is the Dr. Tim's one. This is the first time I've done it this way. I've stuck years before. I've big bottle of colony, stick some chromicin, fingers crossed. I'll not lie, it's just the first time. But I did a lot of I spent a lot of time watching his video on YouTube. And what the guy doesn't know about bacteria isn't worth knowing. Yeah,
it's awesome.
He's a very clever guy, hence why he's got his, huge range of products that a lot of, high-end farms use, etc. And what he says just makes sense. You lower your salinity, you increase your temperature, and you give the bacteria a chance to multiply, so it's to a pace where it's quicker, so you can put fish in. Why wouldn't you want that? But you just follow it step by step, day by day. And I was saying to you earlier that I'm halfway through it on day 7. By day 9, it says you can add fish. I'm not going to add fish. I'm actually going to add more ammonia because I want to make sure it's converted it properly before I put any fish in. But I'm on day 7, and I'm turning nitrite into nitrate already, so it's working. And I've still got levels of ammonia. I've still got like 1.5, 2 parts of ammonia. So until that's 0, I'm not even entertaining any fish. But it's it's good. It's really good. And I've put the first defense. I've put the first defense in as well, which I didn't even know that product existed until I looked at it. Which is a product you put in before the bacteria, strangely enough, to get rid of any chlorine or anything in the water that's harmful to fish, and it also kickstarts bacteria that de-stress fish, basically, when you're putting fish in. So for the sake of 15 quid, it's worth putting in.
That's Dr. Tim's product.
Yeah. So what's the time of first defense? Sorry, go on, Jay. You finish off. Go on.
No. Tell us about that first defense because it's more relevant.
I was just going to say that. Dr. Tim's.
Yeah. So I literally stumbled upon it. So I was following the. This is the day by day. You've got a step. Yeah. Sorry, camera. That's day at a time that you're following. Yeah.
Wrong one.
Wrong one.
There we go. That one. There we go.
That's it, mate. That's the one I followed as well.
Yeah. But if you look here, you've got 2 products. You've got the bacteria and you've got the first defense. And before adding the one and only, you had the first defense, and it's just a really good way. I've thrown the bottle away now, so I can't, and I'm not again. I haven't got it in front of me, so don't quote me. But here we go. Before adding one and only, dose the tank with the correct amount of first defense to remove chlorine and chloramines. Don't know much about chloramines. Do not use ammonia removing chemicals which can harm the one and only live bacteria from the water. Wait 30 minutes and then you can add the one and only. So you can do it same day.
Right. Interesting. there's that, like you said, there's that many different ways of cycling a tank. It can just be like overload, can't it, you know, with people when they're getting into the hobby, especially newbies and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I've had some of my fish for over 10 years, Steve.
Absolutely.
I don't want to lose any of them. Yeah. I might do, you know, it might happen, but I'd like to go to bed knowing I've done everything that I could have done.
You've done your best.
You know.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, for sure.
You're trying to create the right environment with the bacteria and the least stress for the fish when they're going in. And I know, obviously, these bottled bacteria and people chuck the fish in, and apparently it's okay. But to me, I can't see how it is fully, to be honest. I think what you're doing there, taking your time over a number of weeks, slowly building up your ammonia, building up all that beneficial bacteria, not rushing it, mate, it's got to be the best way to do it, surely.
I think so. I've done, you know, I mean, I've done some silly things over the years. I don't want to sit here tonight and pretend I know everything about it, because I don't. I'm still learning like we all are. But yeah, I've done that, and you know, I've gone, oh, I don't like that, so I've emptied 70% of my water, put 70% new in, and you know, it's gone, you know, it's gone pear-shaped in the early days of reefing. But fortunately now there's a lot more information out there for people to watch, read, listen to, and take advice from, you know. And there's no matter who's having the reef, there's a way for everybody. You'll find it.
And Paul swears by the prawn way as well, and obviously that's
I've always done that. I've chucked a prawn in until it starts to disintegrate. After about 7 days, I take it out. That does the ammonia, and then the circle just goes through. And the last 3 tanks I've done, I left the lights off for about 8 weeks. I've ghost fed for a little bit just to keep the bacteria in there, bottles and copy pods, all kinds of stuff. And then put some fish in after that. I mean, because you've already got a tank going, and if you do another tank, you're not in a hurry, because it doesn't matter. The downside of this, I probably didn't put as much bacteria in as I usually would, and carry it on. So I think the problems I've had with this tank is related to just hasn't been on the mark like the other two. Just expanded them enough. I just made a mistake on it. Every tank is different, and I probably didn't have as much focus on keeping up with the pods and all the other stuff that I usually do. And it's been a little bit behind some of the other tanks I've had. But you live and learn. That's why I like when a tank gets to about 2.5 years, because they're spot on, they're nice and mature, your corals start to grow out and stuff like that, and you think that tank really starts to take shape. And that's a little bit before that, but you can also make mistakes, and usually it's not costly.
Yeah. I was a bit like Tom. Like, if anybody's watching this and going to cycle a tank, if you watch that Dr. Tim's video about cycling a tank and the stages that you need to go through, if you watch that it just convinces you that is the way to do it. Because, like you said, Tom, the guy knows what he's talking about.
100%.
He's got the products to back it up. And I use that Dr. Tim's Eco Balance, and I've used it every week. I've been putting a cap of that in since I'd cycled it. And again, I think his products, obviously he knows a lot about reef chemistry. His products are really good, aren't they?
The thing for me was lowering the salinity and increasing the temperature so that it accelerates the growth of the bacteria. Yeah. And the explanation behind it makes perfect sense. Yeah. Because everybody sets a tank up, sets a new tank up based on what they're going to put in the tank, i.e. fish and corals. They don't set it up for the bacteria that they need to have to be able to have fish and corals.
That's the thing. Absolutely. I said that on Instagram to somebody. Someone said, "Can I have what's your one tip that you've got?" Okay, and I'm not, I've only been in a couple of years, but I said, look after the little stuff that you can't see, and the big stuff then thrives. Because obviously we always focus. I just like your bacteria, your pods, your phyto, all the little building blocks that are in the background that you don't really see.
An ecosystem, isn't it?
Without that, mate, without that, nothing will sustain. The ocean will be empty without all the smaller bits, mate. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Totally agree. CJ's Aquarium's in the house.
Who's that?
CJ's Aquarium's in the house. Our good friend from America. CJ. I love watching his. Yeah, I love watching his videos. I tell you, mate, fantastic. Thanks for joining us, CJ. Like you said, I did exactly the same as you, Paul. I did like natural, like with a prawn and stuff. My cycle took forever. It took forever. I think it was like 6. I think it was about 5 or 6 weeks or something, mate. Yeah. Till I was like ready and thinking, you know what, this is it. I've got a good enough bacteria there. I reckon I can add the fish sort of thing, you know what I mean? But But you know what? No, it stood me in good stead because when I transferred from the 170 to this 350, yeah, I went through no mini cycle. I just transferred. Remember, I was doubling the water volume. Yeah, I had no mini cycle. I had no diatoms. I had nothing, no algae, nothing, mate. It just transitioned like it was so smooth. It just went straight over. Do you know what I mean? I had no losses. So, like I said, the more natural way. Like I said, I can't like the bottle stuff and things because I've never used it, so I could never do that. You know what I mean?
But it works as well. People use ATM colony.
Yeah.
And it seems to work. The people that have problems with colony don't follow the instructions. They'll put too few fish in, then they'll start adding more stuff, then they'll put other things. And then people say, well, like, they started one thing and they go on to another, and then go on to another. And all they're doing is going round in a circle and starting again and causing stress, because by that time they've put. If you have a system, then stick with that system. Yeah, you chop and change. From what I've seen, it causes more problems.
It's like CJ said there, like look at natural is absolutely the best way. These bottles make me feel like they have stuff in them that we don't know about, and it's true, innit? You know what I mean? You just don't know, do you?
You don't. You're trusting them with your expensive fish, expensive corals. You don't actually know what's in there, do you? That is the point.
And for the sake of a few weeks, does it, in the scheme of things, does 3, 4, 5 weeks really make a difference?
No.
And if you want a tank that's going to be years old, it'll go in a blink of an eye.
Exactly.
Well, it's like you said, Paul.
You're going to enjoy it, so just enjoy it. How long it takes.
It's like
CJ's mad.
It's like you.
Go on, sorry.
No, it's like you said, Paul, isn't it? Like where you've done how many tanks you've done. Bloody loads, haven't you? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you said the one thing you'd never had, like you've had trouble with, is that little nano behind you, and you didn't do one thing, and you didn't have the live sand, did you? You know what I mean? So it just goes to show, doesn't it? That like you just one thing that you didn't do. You know what I mean? Like changes the way it's either cycled or problems you have. You know what I mean?
And also, I didn't carry on as much as I should have with the pods and the. Phyto and other stuff like that really built it.
Pods are key as well. The pods are key.
They really help. So there's a lesson learned there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Orange Reef. Has Tom used any of the existing rock stroke bio balls to see the new tank?
Completely new.
Nope.
Everything's new. I didn't want to bring anything in from the garage. I just didn't want any if buts.
Good. Natural is way more predictable outcomes. Very true. Very, very true. Reef King just joined us in the. Oh no! Hi all. Just got in. Too hot in the cab tonight. Hope you're well, Carl.
Evening, Carl. I just watched his video. His latest video. He's got a new sump set up. Yeah, that was good.
Well, you know what? I've been that busy. I've not even been on YouTube. I've just not even watched anything, to be fair. So I've just been that busy. So I will catch up with it sometime this week, but let's have a look. Why should you never mess with crawfish? You don't want to exactly.
You what? Sorry.
Did you think of doing the Zeovit start? Because I know you're doing the KZ, aren't you?
No, that's what I am doing. That's what I am doing the Zeovit system. But I won't be starting until I'm happy.
There's a site you can buy some of the stuff.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
That as well.
No, because you have to use live rock, and I'm not.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, I could have brought live rock in from the garage, but it wouldn't have looked like that.
Yeah.
So you've got to the swings and roundabouts. You've got to have a bit of a compromise somewhere, and there's been. I want to keep repeating myself. It's been a big stress for the missus and me. The whole thing, from start to finish. So I wanted to. I didn't want to be carrying smelly bits of rock from the fish house into here and messing around with milliput and whatever else till 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's why. But no, I'm running the Zeovit system. That's what I do. Carbon dosing.
Incredible. What you've got to so far, mate. It looks absolutely like the whole tank. So you went to who is it? Mickey Boy that built that for you? Yeah. Yeah,
unfortunately, he's a really good friend of mine.
Is he? He's done a very. I guess obviously you had like a consultation, and then you decided what you wanted to some extent. Did he install it? Did he install it all for you as well? Did he come and fit it all in?
It was a joint venture. Nick, and a friend of mine, Matt. It was all hands on deck. I think everybody's. It's one of those, isn't it? It's from concept to sort of, or should I say, design to reality. it's not every day you have a 9 and a bit foot tank in your living room. So it was a big sort of adventure for everybody involved. And I think, you know, there was a lot of stress. There was a lot of stress along the way. Things didn't go according to plan. And I'm not going to sit here tonight and say, you know, it's not like when I had a Red Sea and it came on a pallet, you know, dropped off by, you know, a parcel courier, and I put it together myself. It was, you know, there were a lot of things that didn't go according to plan. But as I said to Steve in his video when he came to see me, the more you plan something like this, and I'm fortunate, I think if I'd have had this, if this was my first or second tank, it would have gone wrong. Yeah. Because I would have rushed it. Because it's probably, you know, six tank I've had. I'm fortunate to have, and it's the biggest I've had so far. And I've been planning it so long. It's just another week or another day. It's not been an issue. And I've spent so much time on YouTube, Instagram, and things that, you know, that trickle filter, you know, there's probably, I could have a roller filter and a roller mat, but the missus doesn't like the smell and this, that, and the other. And I designed that because it suits my lifestyle. Because if I want to put a bag of Rowafoss in or a bag of carbon in, I put a bag of carbon in, I take a bag out, and I throw it away. I have to faff about taking nylon screws off a reactor and it all going all over in my sump, which has happened numerous times.
Which will happen,
And then I spend a weekend having to hoover up a load of carbon or Rowafoss. I just did it because it was works for me, because I wanted a system that was nice and, you know, easy to maintain without it being a ball ache. Let's be honest. When it starts being a ball ache, you don't do it, and that's when things go wrong.
And that's the beauty of custom, isn't it? I think custom is just the ice on the cake, isn't it? Because you can design it to fit what you want, your vision, as it were.
The aluminium frame was a massive plus. I was a bit skeptical, I'll be honest. I've always had steel powder coated frames because they've been cheaper, obviously a lot heavier. Ali frame, I wouldn't never go back now.
So, I would go my next tank. I'm hoping it's going to be about 6 foot. I think it'll be a 6 foot tank. I think that's what my plan is 6 foot. But there's no doubt in my mind I'm going aluminium frame. I'm not getting a wood frame again. No chance. Aluminium is the best way. 100%, mate. I totally get that. But I don't know. Like I said before, there's that many different choices, isn't there? You know, on the market and stuff. Like, I mean, Mick, for instance, definitely, he's building my tank. You know what I mean? There's no doubt. But then, like your design of your doors, they hang on, don't they? They like on clips, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Keycore clips.
It's like a hang on.
I didn't want any hinges.
Have you marked it? Have you marked them up yet? Because I'm not going to tell. I'm not going to tell what happened. But
that's why they're not on your video.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you.
I took them off. I couldn't remember what order to put them back on. No, but to be fair though, Steve, one thing when you talk about on your video, which to be fair to Mick, and this is where he's giving me a little bit of kudos, and I can feel his head expanding in Sheffield right now. Was when you talk about the mitered corner.
Oh no, we didn't. No.
So you probably see if I can. Which way do I go here? If I get a camera. So bearing in mind that on an evening I'll be sat on the sofa like most people will, and the last thing I wanted to see was a big, thick black line of silicon. So courtesy to Mick, can't really see here, but that is a mitered corner with clear silicon, so you can see through both panes without having a big black thick line in front of you, spoiling the view.
Man, it's them little touches as well. It's them little touches that just make it look better, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't want to be distracted from looking at your livestock, and that's what
where I sit in the lounge, Jay, on a night, I'm going to look straight up at that side panel, and there's going to be a big, thick black bead of silicon.
Which is what you get on the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Hey, that's nice. That is super nice. That is. It's the little touches in it like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
That makes a bit of difference.
Makes it.
So in terms of power heads, obviously you've got a beautiful tank there, mate.
Yeah.
I assume you're not going to be sticking gyres and wave makers everywhere. There's a hell of a lot of flow kicking out of them two pumps at the back. Is that what you're going to rely on for the whole of the SCX? Six is oh yeah,
6 outlets.
Yeah.
Jesus. All hitting the front, and then does it go like back down or up at the back?
Yes, there's two off the weir. that go well, they're all adjustable. I'm going to put random flow generators on all of them anyway.
I just about to say you're going to make them random.
Yeah, I'll put randoms on because, again, I don't know what I'm putting in there and where I'm putting it and what it wants, you know. But yeah, there's two at the minute. There's one either side of the weir box at 45, and then there's two either side on 90s. So there's 6 outlets at the minute, and like I say, one Red Dragon does one side and one does the other of the weir. So one pump does one pump does the right, one does the left.
Plenty of flow. You can see there's plenty of flow.
So basically, you're just using the flow of your return to compensate for having any wave makers in it. That's what you're doing, isn't it?
Yeah, and again,
in retrospect,
I said that to you when I met you, Steve. That if you've got a powerful enough pump, use it.
With a tank, if you're spending that money that you've spent there, I wouldn't want I've got a wave maker stuck on the side here. If I was spending that money, it'd be shit, wouldn't it? Basically, you want it so it's all built in, so you can't you don't make features out of wave makers. You don't want to see cables, do you? So that's why
that was my biggest bugbear, Jay, was the cables.
Cables,
I mean, I was again. I hope if I have to go down the Powerhead route, it will be well. There's a couple of different brands that are really hard to get hold of, but there'll be something special. But I think really what I'll end up doing is just increasing the returns to a bigger model if I really have to. Yeah.
Looks smart, mate. Look really smart.
Thank you. Yeah.
Are you running Radian? What's the lighting that you've got on? Is it Radians then, or what?
No.
I like a Radian. You don't like a Radian, no?
The last Radions I had were Gen 2s. That's how long ago I'm talking. And you had the old the disco feature on your mobile phone when it came out, and I spent a full weekend trying to get my Reeflink to talk to it, and ended up smashing it on chimney breast. But anyway,
I'm still using the Reeflink. I've still got Gen 3 working.
Yeah, if they work, they're good lights.
But once you've got it work, let's face it, once you set up your lights, I don't anyway,
exactly.
So it doesn't matter if it works or
100%.
Or not, and I had a Gen 2 as well, and that did the trick. But so good lights.
I had on the 8-footer I had in this room, I think we had 6 or 7 Gen 2s at one point. I sent Steve a video the other day of I was on about coral placement to him when he came to see me, and if you see this video, you'd be like, "What is he talking about?"
And that's why I say it, mate. That's why I say you're going to change your mind with corals, mate. I'm telling you, looking at that video.
If you sent you the video of the tank, there was just no room to put a coral in it. Anyway, but no, I again with the 8-footer, I think I had 5 or 6 units. I bought a couple brand new, a couple second hand. Worst thing I could have done because they were signed in on different people's profiles. I couldn't tune them. Nightmare. But anyway, sorry, Jay.
So you said you got Reef Brights, but Reef Brights, they're not your main lights. They're not your primary lights, are they?
No, they're just a blue little bit of touch on an evening. So we've got 2 6-tube hybrids, ATI hybrids. So 54 watt 6 bulb. They're supplemented by 2.
They're not LED. They're not LED then, no.
They're hybrid. They're T5 and LED.
T5.
So each T5 unit's about 4 foot.
Yeah.
6 tube with 3 LED clusters in each one. So there's one either side of the weir, if you can picture that. Yeah. On the back of those, you've got again either side of the weir 2 Orfec 120s, so 1.2 meter. No, tell a lie, 900, so 90 centimeters. And then on the front lip, because we haven't got the weir, we've got 2 120s.
Yeah.
So we've got the Reef Brights in the middle, which are supplementing the gap that you can see behind me with the weir and having no rock in the middle.
Yeah.
Nice.
Some light there.
I may end up changing. Who knows? You what? Sorry.
Light there. Some powerful lights there. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to. Sorry.
I was going to say I like how you've got Reef Brights and Orfex because that's like it's like a missus with makeup on. That is, it makes your corals like super. It makes everything look prettier, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like, corals pop, you can see the colours better. You know what I mean? You just it makes a big difference alongside your other lights as well.
Yeah. The only issue I've had with the
why did you go for that mix of lights?
Honest answer, I'd already got it.
Right. That's fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've been
obviously like them anyway,
sorry, no, I tell a lie. I didn't have the Reef Brights. I bought the Reef Brights off somebody I knew just as a supplement because I just thought, what can I buy to fill this gap that gives it a little bit of punch, ideally blue, without breaking the bank. They were secondhand again, you know, Bluetooth controller involved. And I'll be honest with you, I know they're not something that's, well, years ago you couldn't get them. They're all America and blah blah. It took a while to get hold of them, but the app, how easy they are to use is unreal. But if you can't use those, you shouldn't be in the hobby. They are so easy to operate.
Jay struggled.
Jake loves his Reef Brights. Jake loves them.
They are. They're really good.
You just switch them on and off.
Yeah, mine haven't even got.
Was that Jay you're talking about, or the Reef Brights?
Oh, Jay, yeah. You just switch them on and off.
Mine are on or off. I haven't got no app with mine, so they're even simpler. Just especially for me.
No, it is. It's really, to be honest, I'll show you now. I will show you now. When we're talking now, it is that easy. And do you know what? I've just said that, so I'm going to eat my words, aren't I? It's not going to work.
It makes you want to make your corals look prettier.
I literally can't see.
Get some Reef Brights.
Bright, sorry. Hang on, here we go. Now, I'm connecting to this, and I say I want to overwrite it, and I can turn them down like that.
Look at that.
And just turn them back on.
Connected straight away.
Hey,
that's it.
Hey,
that's it.
You got your receipt for your one, mate.
Sorry,
Jay. You got your receipt for your Reef Brights. Say, come back and say you want the.
I can turn mine off. Wait a minute. Get in here.
Then.
There you go. Look, there you go. Done.
From that, mate. Works.
There you go. On. You know
Simple
what?
as that, mate. Works.
This is an advert for Reef Brights. We should be getting sponsored for this. Look at that.
No, I've got the ATIs on because I've had brilliant results with them. You know, they're expensive to run. They get hot. I'll not lie. You can't get the tubes, but I've been fortunate enough. I bought a brand new unit. I bought some secondhand units, and I've inherited dozens, and I mean dozens of bulbs. So why would I throw them away and use them? You know, so that's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely, yeah. Could you replace them when you can't get the T5s? Can you replace those bulbs with LED bulbs in those units?
No.
So obviously everybody here in the chat's thinking, how much has he spent in? Obviously it's a super mega build, isn't it? Are you willing to tell us like ballpark figures? No.
My missus is going to watch this tomorrow, so absolutely no way.
Oh God. Because obviously somebody might be watching thinking, I want a 9-foot tank. And do you know, like, when I looked at my tank, this is no joke, I've spent just as much on livestock as I spent on, like, the equipment.
I'd say more.
I've spent slightly more. Yeah, I've spent slightly more.
So
what the hell's going to happen to you, Tom? Jesus.
I'm probably going to get cremated.
Get cremated. Because it hasn't come cheap so far, so obviously you're gonna have to stock it with SBS, not cheap.
Yeah, but I said this to Mogsy though. Look, I'm not about debates and I've always said over the years, it's worth what somebody's prepared to pay for it. So whether that's equipment, corals, whatever, a car, a house, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So if you want a coral and you like it and it's 100 quid a frag, crack on. Fair play to you if that's what you want to pay, you know. Yeah. But as we said earlier, for me, it's the placement and it's getting the contrast right. Because if you get a couple of colours or a few colours together in the right order, it looks epic. It really, does, you know, without sounding nerdy, it does. So for me, it's going to be a bit old school. We talked again about this with Steve the other week. Barley Slimers, you know, stylos. But I'm I like a millie. I get a bit of a kick when I see those polyps fluffy and everything.
You get the flow, don't you, with it?
Yeah.
You get that nice movement, don't you, with them as well? Yeah, they're nice. Obviously, with your accent as well, you must be close to like signature frags.
It's not far. Christian's in Ripley, so we're about 40 minutes away. So
that's not
But
I'm a big.
I assume you've been already there.
I've not. No, I've watched your video. I watched you pretending to do a day's work a while ago.
I'm a teacher, so we don't really do much work anyway, to be fair. It's just easy day. Surprised you haven't been there, mate. It's not far away from you.
No, I like to get corals from people in the local community in the hobby.
Yeah.
You know, corals that have been in their tank for, you know, a number of years, for me, are always a lot hardier. And again, depending on your parameters and your lighting and everything else, sometimes you end up with a completely different coral in 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Exactly. I'm just looking through this stream, see if we missed anything. No, I can't see. Let me see. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss anything because otherwise I get told off at the end of it. You know what I mean?
909. There's a message from question from Stefan.
What? Sorry, 09?
Yeah, 909.
Oh, there.
Here we go.
Right.
Jay Paul. You answer this first about the temperature in your tank. This is about the nanos because obviously I've got a nano here. What's the temp doing in yours? Because it's hot out.
Hey, me? What are you on about? You're asking me something.
Read what he says.
What's it say?
Read what he says.
I thought you were hosting this, Steve. Why am I doing all the reading? Jesus.
He's got a bedtime story to read shortly, so leave him alone.
How are you finding the temperature? Yeah. Well, to be honest, not so good. To be fair, what am I on at the moment? 26.4 at the moment. So it's creeping up. But I've actually bought an air conditioning unit as well. So I used to have the fans. Well, I kept dropping them in the thing because my flap kept coming down with the fans on. It just dropped in the water every time, then chucked all the water out like a bit of a whirlpool. So I got rid of my fans. I bought an air conditioning unit last week, and that's like cooled the house down. But because I'm on this live stream, my family watching a movie downstairs, I've had the door shut. So now this room's getting hot now. So if I look like I'm getting really sweaty, it's because it's getting quite warm. So my tank's warmed up. It was 25.5 before I started the stream. It's now 26.5. So I need to get off this stream soon. Otherwise it'll be 27.5 in a minute. Yeah, it's getting hot. How about yours, Spot?
Yeah, so my one in here is not too bad. It's about 25.5 to 26, which actually is a lot cooler than the garage. So this one's been fine.
Yeah, yours is rock solid.
I think it's 26. So the DD controller's just started to beep, and that's 26 degrees. But quite cool compared to the outside when it's been 32. So it's pretty good. 6 degrees below.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Jay, your tank's looking super. Scott's just joined us. Evening, Scott. Hope you're well, my friend. Let's see. What's this? Is replying to you. 5570 worded, Tom, for the tank. That's without the screw. That's without the screws and all that, mate.
No.
In the aluminium.
That's what Mick owes me in royalties so far this evening for plugging him.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Is anyone going to follow the MacNot 24-hour live stream tomorrow? Now, because I'm working late tomorrow, so I won't be. Unfortunately,
you have it on on one earphone and just put it in the glove box thing and just listen to it on the bus.
What? Oh, you're not allowed to have it. You're not allowed to. Yeah, play it to your calls,
if you've got your headphone in one ear that's away from
you're not allowed to have headphones on, mate.
Just listen to it.
You're not allowed them. It's a sackable offence, that.
Oh, is it?
Offence, mate.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah. Freaking hell, if I get sacked from my job, mate, you can forget my tank. I might have to get another one of those little nano ones that we built up. Remember when we built them up, Paul's? In fact, I'm buying Paul's off him.
You trying to say I ain't got a job? If you've got a nano, you ain't got a job.
It's not nano. The small ones when we had the nano challenge, the little nano challenge. I'll have to have one of them.
Pico Reef. The one
Pico Reef, yeah.
Doggate, yeah.
I'll have to have one of them, mate.
What Doggate, mate? My Doggate, my Pico.
That was actually the genuine excuse why it's Pico.
It was, yeah.
Doggate it.
You have to go see the doctor about your Pico.
Oh, no, yeah.
Let me just go up to this. Rich Bay, he said his biggest regret was not using live sand and used live rock. He's still got dinos, as I say, I know. Nitrated phos both 0, having a dual stem, set up in April, had April, had the same as you a few weeks ago. That's it. I mean, you're hearing more and more people about dosing nitrates and phosphates now, aren't you? You know, like people went through a phase where everybody couldn't get them down and stuff, myself included. Mainly phosphates, really. Nitrates have always been okay for me, but the phosphates were all thing. But then since I switched to making my own food, and I can honestly say that, that my phosphates now have remained stable. They very, very rarely go. I don't use, like I've said to you, Tom, before, and the people before, I don't use no carbon. I don't run raw phos in my tank. I don't run anything in my tank. You know what I mean? And I don't need to, because I only really need to run carbon if I've either fragged something or something like that, you know what I mean? Or like the raw phos, if, say, for instance, my phosphates are rising. But it has been a thing with making my own food for sure. You know what I mean? So, but it is. I mean, I've got a couple of mates who are both dosing their tanks. I mean, one's got a 250 Red Sea 250, and one's got a 525 one. And they say the same. They can't get, for some reason, they can't raise phosphates up. All seem to be super, super low. You know what I mean? Whereas we used to say feed more, put more in. You know what I mean? And more will come out, but. Doesn't seem to always be the case now, to be fair.
The problem is if you put in more fish and more food in, you don't know how much you're taking it up by, do you?
No.
So I think when you've got things like the NIOS that you can just add and you can put X amount of milliliters depending on how many liters you got. You can control it. Because I dosed phosphate and ended up getting rid of the cyano because it was out of whack. So I can see why people do it.
Yeah.
I must admit, I don't buy into the no chemicals. If it's the right thing for the tank, I would add chemicals.
So would you not like go like I for me, if I don't need to add chemicals in my tank, I never have to. You know what I mean? So but that's the way I believe in it. Yeah, but not saying that I wouldn't. But if I could try to do something,
do an alternative.
Yeah. Because to me, it's just like a Band-Aid. It's like putting a plaster on a cut thing, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. If it needs stitches, it's not going to stop it. It's just going to ease it off. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with our tanks. If I see something rising, or like the nitrates, phosphates, or whatever, I'm like, well, what is it? What could it be? So it's like process of elimination, isn't it? You know what I mean? Rather than you hear of people like I had a bottle of what's it called, the Red Sea No Pox. I never even opened it, mate. You know what I mean? And then I started to see it rise, and I was like, oh. First thing I did was I panicked. Oh, I better shove down it. Shoved it on, mate, and then I started getting a red slime all in my sump because my tank wasn't used to it. You know what I mean? I was either overdosing it or like I just didn't have a.
You start slow, though, didn't you? I mean, I used it for 6.5 years on the bigger tank on a 450. It started with 1 milliliter, and in the end, it was like 13 milliliters when I at its highest level with the tanks. And it was good as gold. It worked really well for me. But some people hate no pox. It's like anything, isn't it? Yeah. So what some people like, other people can't stand and won't go anywhere near and think it's poison for their tank. So it's horses for courses.
Never say never, because you don't know what situation you're ever going to get in, like how serious it would be. So you might have to resort to it. But yeah, always try and find the natural alternative if there is one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Is there any more that's come up? You know what? I've not even done. Not even done. Mentioned or anything. Yeah, we had a giveaway today.
What? Mug? Another mug?
We had a we had a giveaway, mate. We had a giveaway. Yeah, from Coral Essentials. They've just brought out. Well, it's not even actually been released. It's in the shops next week, I believe. But Phil has given us a bottle of the Aminos and a bottle of the Grow, both formulas, which can be put on dosing pumps. As of yet now, they're only in the dropper bottles. They're not even. It's not even on the website or anything. I checked and it's not even on the website or anything. But I believe I contacted him and I asked him when they were going to be out. They're going to be in the shops next week, I believe. So he's given us one bottle of each. No, they don't have to stay in the fridge or anything like that. They can be run on doses. They're less concentrated than obviously the droppers. I run the dropper ones, but myself, I say it time and time again. I sometimes forget. Like if you're in a rush and you leave early and you just forget to do it, and I'm just like that. That's just me. I just sometimes forget to dose, and then I'm gone to bed and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to dose it. You know what I mean? And I'll do it tomorrow. So it's not it's everyday cycle they should do. Do you know what I mean? Whereas these ones now, they can be run on a doser, put straight into your sun, put into your tank, whatever way you want to do it. And yeah, absolutely brilliant. So he's given us 2 bottles to give away. So we can either give it away this week.
Have you got them there? Have you got them there?
No. No, they've literally. He's going to send them out. They've literally been sent to him.
Like, God, you can't talk.
Look on the thumbnail. Look on the thumbnail.
Look at the thumbnail. The thumbnail.
Have you not been paying attention? No, that's a silly question. Have you been paying attention? Of course,
not really. No.
Steve's been talking about
the top right hand corner.
Has he been paying attention? And he's the school teacher.
My balls, mate. I haven't been paying attention at all.
Lines.
Come on. I will listen to Steve when he's hosting.
Times 50.
Well, they're on the icy, yeah.
You've seen it. You've seen it.
That's yeah. So you've got 2 of them. What are they?
They've literally just come into the country from Australia, mate, on the shipment literally a few days ago. And they've arrived at the wherever their lockup is or wherever their thing is. They've arrived, so they'll be going out into the shops at the end of the beginning of next week, I believe. They're going in. So you'll be one of the very first people to get them, mate. Believe it or not. So whoever wins it, for sure. So
what's the RRP on this?
What should we say?
How much are we winning? How much value are we winning here? Is it big value? Are they? How much are they? Do you know how much?
Well, the retail. I do know they're going to retail for $11.95 in the shops, mate. So £12 a piece, which I think is pretty good value.
How many mils
for a 500 ml bottle? So I think that's pretty good. That, to be fair, you know what I mean. I'm not 100% sure on obviously how much millage you've got to put in it. You know what I mean. I don't have a clue, but I'm assuming it would last you a good maybe 2 months or so. I reckon a month and a half, 2 months. I would have thought. Won't be that much. Might be like 8 mil, 12 mil, or something like what the others are. CVE's 12 mil in it, so and stuff like that. So I'm assuming it'll be in that range, but I don't know, mate. But yeah, I thought that was good of him to give us that.
The only thing is though, if you've got cyanobacteria or things like that, or dinoflagellates, don't dose aminos. Because it feeds your corals, but also feeds bacterias. And if you've got unhelpful bacteria like cyano, that'll increase. So yeah, aminos are great, but if you've got a problem already that's existing, don't dose aminos. That's what they say.
Got you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It makes sense.
I never knew that.
You did.
Yeah. So what do you call it? Yeah. So Paul, are you gonna? What should we do? Should we do
the wheel, Steve? I like the wheel. Do the wheel. You can.
Yeah, Paul's gonna do it. Paul's doing it for me because he's the man, mate. He's the man.
Remember the last time he had to both host?
Yeah, and that's why it's so good.
His head nearly blew off.
This is why it's so good.
Mate. Listen, I can't be coping with that, mate. My head will go mad, pear shaped. So Paul is the man, mate. He's the man. He's the man with a computer. He's the man. So what? Jake? Because you just come back. What do they have to put comment below to get it? What do you think they have to comment? You're the teacher. You should tell us.
Go on. You take it, Tom.
Or any of you, Tom.
I think a really good question for tonight's draw would be: what is the combined volume of water between all our 4 systems?
You've lost me already, but go on. That's a good question.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I know. I heard you.
It's not the answer.
It's a bit late. Jesus.
It's not a question. It's not a question. It's they've just got a comment below. They've just got a comment below, so it could be whatever you want to call it. So say you need to put like say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everybody who puts it down, it'll get a number off Paul, and then it'll come through. What is that right, Paul? Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Freaking hell, Paul. Come on, mate.
I was listening and I didn't understand the word.
Tom's was a good question.
So how are we going to do this? So you're doing the numbers, yeah? You're doing the things for the giveaway, yeah?
Paul's doing the wheel, yeah. So, what we all doing?
but they need to comment below and watch. So should we just put like Pro and Grow or something like that or whatever? Comment put Pro and Grow to be in, and then you get a number in, then you get put into it. Yeah, Pro and Grow. Yeah, put Pro and Grow. Yeah,
Pro
I thought you
and
said
grow.
Pro and Grow. Yeah,
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah,
Pro,
yeah, whichever. Yeah, put that below, and then Paul will input you, and then that's it, and then we'll see where we win, and then we'll draw it in about 15 minutes. Yeah, we'll draw it. Anybody who's not put it in by 45 are not going to be in. So don't come crying or sending me messages saying I've not been put in it.
So basically, this feed does this because he wants people to stay on the live stream, and it boosts his analytics, and he gets more money. That's why he does these.
I don't get any money, mate. I wish. He's
switching off his channel so he loses his money.
I wish I'd get money, mate. Yeah, grows and grow there. Yeah, grows and grow. Yeah, that's good. Grows and grow. So Scott's the first guy. That's what we put down.
Scott's first thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grow and grow.
You're winning.
I'm glad
my mistress says grow and grow. Never happened. Never happened.
We're talking about your Pico again here, Jay.
That's it.
That's Jay. Let's have a look. Let's see if we've not missed anything. Lee Armstrong, my tank is on fire after cutting down on dosing this and chasing that perfection. Exactly. Too many people chase perfection, don't they? You know what I mean? Like if you stick to just a rough number, a rough guide, yeah, just stick to don't stick to a specific number because that you just batter your head with that. You know what I mean? There's just no point in doing that.
Do you know these bottles you're giving away, Steve? One of them's Aminos. What's the other one?
It's Grow. It's
what, like refrain?
No. Let me bring it up. Because at this moment I actually don't. At this moment in time, yeah, they're only in these little tiny bottles. You know, the little tiny bottles, yeah, the dropper bottles. They're only in them. So the Grow formula, yeah, is basically it's like it's a concentrated blend of vitamin complexes. So it contains like amino acid, lysine, provides vital source of food, coral, enhances growth and coloration. So that's what it does, mate. Basically, it's essentially for increased vitality, coral metabolism, and overall food source for most marine aquarium inhabitants. So mainly your corals. That's what it's for. Basically, that one is. So that's what that is. But you're supposed to do that. If you link them all together, so you do Grow, Amino, and the CVE, it like combines. It's like they're all, you know, like it's all one sort of thing. Yeah, they all bind together, and it's supposed to help.
But if you win this, you're like a guinea pig, aren't you? Basically, because no one else has ever used it, so we don't know how good it is.
No, they've already been out in Australia and stuff like that, in America, I believe. Is it American?
Right, okay.
Yeah,
it's Australia, isn't it? Your Coral Essentials.
Australia Coral Essentials. Yeah. So, but it's out over there and stuff like that. People have been using it over there. But like you said, a lot of the things, like Tom said, a lot of these things with aminos and things like that, they have to be put in fridges a lot of the time. Even these little dropper bottles have to be. I put mine in the fridge. You know what I mean? And it's a nuisance. You know, my missus goes mad at me. You know, when she opens the fridge door and just bottles after bottles of like coral food and fish food. And she's like, what in the hell? Yeah, Phytos. She's like, what in the hell's going on?
It goes in the freezer and it's full of fish food. It's like it's a bit harsh, isn't it? Like your family have to sacrifice a lot to live with us, don't you? Really?
You know what? I've got a separate freezer, seriously, yeah, for my dog, for my animals, for my dog, yeah, and for my fish, mate. So it's like
separate freezer. There. You're not living long in there, Steve. The dog. Put the dog in the freezer.
Oh, my dog. Oh yeah.
Dog food.
Oh, mate. Sometimes he deserves going in the freezer. I'll tell you.
What for the dog? In the freezer.
So yeah, I have all this meat in there, mate. So let's have a look to see. You all right?
Frozen dog food is actually a thing. I didn't realise.
All of his meat, yeah, for sure. Well, hey, you've got your work cut out here, mate. Paul's on it. Is he on it?
Wow. There's people joined in we've never heard from before.
Liam Atkins.
There's a bot. There's a bot got in here.
Ross is okay, and we'll be able to join the live stream again sometime. Absolutely, mate. You know what? He's just been very, very busy with work. To be fair, that's why he is. He's just working and working, and like I said, with his little, his little lad and stuff like that. He's just sees him when obviously he's not working. He's doing well, I believe. Okay.
You know about the unbearded one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's seen him.
Everyone's seen it.
I'm not going to show a picture, but I'd love to show a picture.
I know.
We've not seen it. He's shaved the beard, hasn't he? He shaved it.
Yeah, he shaved his beard.
He's the unbearded reef.
Unbearded reef
is. Yeah, the unbearded reef. Yeah.
I can show you a picture of where he is, though. He's like in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, isn't he? Where's that picture?
What, you mean the North Sea?
Oh, the North Sea. He's in the middle of the North Sea. Yeah.
Close, Joe.
Close for Joe. I'm a geography teacher.
You know what? It would be good if he was watching it, wouldn't it? No, it'd be good if he was watching it, wouldn't it?
I reckon he will.
He says he said the signal's shocking, didn't
he? Yeah, he's in the middle of nowhere. The unbearded one.
Vicky boy, if you're feeding fresh food, mixing your own, would you still add aminos?
Well, that's a lot of nutrients going in.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the funny thing, because I don't see anything rising up. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of like nutrients, to be fair, when I had my own food. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's all consumed and stuff like that. But I do have like, I had like the garlic.
Right, because you've got no fish, so I don't know what the hell you're feeding.
Well,
true. That were a bit low, Jay.
Got two fish in a 4-foot tank.
Hey, don't you worry soon. Hey, on my next upload, mate, you'll be seeing some new fish in there, pal. I'll tell you, don't you worry about that.
They go to your missus, I'm going to feed the fish. She probably just goes, what fish? You ain't got anything.
You'll be all right.
It means fish singular.
You'll be all right reading it. Yeah, you'll be all right reading my fish story time book, won't you? Hey, you'll be all right, mate.
Your YouTube channel, One Fish Reefer, is going to be called.
Hey, good man. See that?
Good man.
Hey, listen, stay tuned, mate. Stay tuned.
Hey, maybe this grow and grow might mean you get like they start to multiply.
I think, to be fair though, with what Mick said about aminos, from my take on it, it's whatever your tank can handle and whatever your filtration system can take out, as long as it's not going to stay airborne in your water column. So feed as much as you want if it's going to get absorbed, and anything that's not going to get absorbed that you can take out, then happy days. Otherwise, you may as well throw it out the window because it's not getting used.
That is absolutely spot on. Yeah, absolutely spot on.
Steve, I
went to find him. He's in the middle of the sea somewhere on this map. He sent me a pin and he's in the middle of the sea. There's nowhere
getting there, is there?
No.
What is he, 138 miles from the coast?
I think the next time I might see him, hopefully he's going to turn up. You know that show, what is it called? Aqua next year. I'm hoping he's going to come to that. I'm hoping. That might be the next time I find him. Might find him there, hopefully.
Steve Webb, what's your food recipe, mate? It's on my channel, but basically,
there we go. Plug your channel.
Basically, yeah. All it is just anything.
Algorithm.
Monetize.
Hey, calm down. Who needs friends? Who needs friends with like this?
Just watch me adverts. Watch all my adverts.
Click on the link.
Yeah, all this 5p, mate. 5p. Yeah, get me one plate.
Tonight's stream is sponsored by.
Sponsored by Jay's fish reading books. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, we could do a few things. Steve's homemade fish food. No, but like I said, mate, it's on my channel. Yeah, it's on my channel, mate. It's a mixture of different things. I add everything into it. To be fair, squid, mussels, scallops, stuff like that. All fish like that, to be fair, yeah. And then blend it up with RO water, and then basically put some. I was doing at the first. I was putting some of the reefroids in, but now I put the coral power food, and then I put some garlic, the garlic drops and stuff like that. So I do a mixture of different things and try to experiment. To be fair, now with different
parts. Like Coral's essentials that you've just been talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do that, mate. Yeah, I just bang it all in there, mate, because then one feeding then feeds it all. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. You know what I mean? It feeds the coral, and then it feeds the fish. So in a way, it's a win-win in my eyes. Anyway, like I said, it doesn't rise nutrients up. So as long as it keeps it like that, then I'm happy. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see.
Those photos you put on Instagram lately of your tank, mate, they look awesome. Your latest Instagram.
Say that again, mate.
No, your latest pictures of your tank on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
It looks awesome, mate. It looks spot on. Really good.
I appreciate it, mate. I appreciate it. Mugsy, any thoughts on new fish? I have, mate. Yes.
It's got loads of thoughts every week.
Just some fish.
Yeah, every week. Yeah. No, I have. I've got my order. My fish order is in. So it's supposed to be coming on Friday. This Friday, it's supposed to be coming in this Friday, I believe. So fingers crossed it all comes in. You know what I mean? But I've got a fair few fish going in. But like I said before, I'm going to add them all in because I know my tank will be able to sustain it anyway. Yeah. But I'm going to add them all in so I can hopefully, fingers crossed, can combat aggression from my clownfish because as we all know, those fish are the most they're so territorial and because they lay eggs all the time, which have got eggs in them again. You know what I mean? Literally hatch, and within 4 or 5 days, they're laying eggs again. It's just crazy, So then they become really territorial, especially if any fish going over into that corner, where they've laid them. So it's so hard, mate. So if they had one fish or 2 fish at the same time, guarantee you one of them's going to be battered or bullied, or eventually one of them will jump out the tank and stuff like that. So that's the reason why I've just been holding off from it at this moment. But fingers crossed, I'm going to add them all in at the same time.
Are you going to do that thing where you put them in the dark, like put them in at night?
Yeah, I'm going to switch all. I'm switching all the lights off. Even if it's during the day, yeah, I'm going to switch the lights off, and I'm going to leave the lights off then, literally for the rest of the day. So it'll be like a long night, for them, yeah. But fingers crossed, then when they wake up and I'll switch the lights back on. Fingers crossed, mate. They'll all be all right. But we'll see.
What Viking said: if you see fish aggression, turn up all your wave makers. That's what he said, isn't it, mate? He said basically get the flow going so that they tire them all out so they don't fight.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Forget
that was the tank,
forget your bottles, just turn them all up to mate. Honestly,
he's got a load of SPS.
They're all flying around like this.
Yeah, the giant and everything. Read them a bedtime story, yeah.
One of Jay's stories.
No, but in all seriousness, he did say just increase the flow, and he said that reduced his aggression.
It was the combination, wasn't it, of a lot of feeding and high flow. That was for his Achilles tangs and others like that.
Tangs, quite aggressive. Because you've got a really big mix of fish, haven't you? I know I'm taking the mix a little bit, but there was a serious point to it.
It's only got 1 fish, but it's a 3-foot tank. Actually, I've got 4 or 5 fish, mate, and it's a 4-foot tank. So yeah, not that bad, mate. It's not that bad. Not that bad yet. It's getting there. But
don't bite, Steve. Don't bite.
No.
We won't get that far, mate. We won't get that far. Forest food, add small amounts of trace. So be careful when you dose. Bottle trace. Interesting. I will do. Let's homemade fish food. Stroke coral is the way to go. Yeah, Cottage Reevy does it. Joe's joined us. Evening, Joe. Hope you're well.
Full house again.
Joe,
and as she always says,
you need to put grow and grow in the comments.
Yeah, grow and grow. Yeah, just do it. Grow and grow. Yeah, don't ask why.
See what happens.
Oh, John. Yeah, John here. He said, John here. He sent me a thing saying that there was this guy in I can't think, it was on the northeast coast or somewhere. I think it was Maplethorpe or somewhere like that, I think it was. And he was selling some fish, and he had a couple of fish in there, a purple tang, and he was selling them for 50 quid. And he was also selling a flame angel for 50 quid. This guy, those flame angels are going for 200 quid for a flame angel now, mate. You know what I mean? Anyway, really the guy never got back to me. He never got back to me, so I'm just assuming. Anyway, he said he'd have got the flame angel for 50 quid if he hadn't got his coral beauty, but he couldn't have it. But, mate, he never got back to me, mate. So I'm assuming he just got rid of them all. To be fair, so yeah. But I appreciate that, John.
Tom said there is a lot of, you know, good bargains out there at the moment. Unfortunately, obviously, people are having to close the tanks down. There's some good deals for those people that are still in the hobby.
I would honestly, God, I would love the Flame Angel.
Get one.
I would, if I knew, mate, like honest to God, that it's always been a fish I've always wanted, yeah. And I knew if I didn't have these corals in the tank, certain corals, which I know, guarantee I'm going to get one that just goes for everything, yeah. And it's so like, and it's so hard to get out of your tank. You just never get them out, mate. It'll be virtually impossible to get one of them out. So that's why I've always stayed off it. And I'm more, like I've said before, I'm more of a coral guy as opposed to fish. You know what I mean? I love my corals mainly. So, but if I was to have a fish, if I knew that a coral Flame Angel wasn't going to do anything, mate, I'd buy one tomorrow. I'd go and I would buy one tomorrow and put it in the tank. But
what if someone had one and went, "Oh, I've had it for 2 years,
mate,
and it hasn't done anything"? Would you buy that one? Somebody might have one that's like doesn't eat coral, and they might be selling it.
If it was proven that it didn't eat coral and they were selling it, I would buy it.
There's no guarantee, though, is it? Change of environment, there's no guarantee. Else.
Change of environment.
Yeah. Imagine it coming down and munching on all your torches or stuff like that, you know, or your scullies or whatever, mate.
They make a good video.
He's war paint. He's war paint scully.
The war paint scully, mate, that's been through the ringer, been stung by a holy grail and all that. He's still alive, mate.
I had a firefish years ago that I put in Fraptasia, and it just went nuts on
everything else.
Oh no!
Yeah, and it didn't even shy. It was like, what you're looking at?
Just chewing. Honestly, oh my god!
It was just a nightmare, and that was a nightmare to catch that as well.
Yeah,
exactly, mate. It is. I mean, it is a thing, isn't it? I suppose it's like a catch-22, isn't it? You're like, you love them, and then you think, should I put it in? And the moment it's done in and it starts to nibble, you're like, why? Why did I put it in? You know, it's just not a risk I'm willing to take. To be fair, so I'm going for fish that hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm not gonna eat.
You'll never have that fish. Then you're saying you'll never have that fish in your life?
No.
That's sad, though, isn't it? That really, if that's the one you
want.
No, probably not, mate.
Get a gem tang.
Gem tang I've always wanted. That's my dream to fish. Is a gem. My gem tang is my dream fish, mate. I've always wanted one of them. Always, but yeah, it's but it comes to that point. Really, it's not about buying it. I could go and buy one tomorrow. Yeah, a gem tang, no problem.
It's the keeping it.
But it's the keeping of it. It's if I put that in the tank, and and the clownfish just say, right, you're getting it, mate. I know. I ate anything down in my tank, you know what I mean? So imagine I'd be devastated if that got chewed up, you know what I mean? And beaten up. I just couldn't know. And that's the reason why it's not about holding off because of the cost of it. It's about holding off because I just don't want anything to happen to it, you know what I mean? So, and that's the only reason why
I've got a yellow tang going into this build.
Oh,
and I've had a 10
years. Is it from AAC?
No.
So no, my one's at AAC.
No. Believe it or not, it's not long ago. I bought 3 yellow tang juveniles for £99. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously. I lost one. I gave one away, and I kept one. And the one I've kept is the one I've got now, the adult. And at the time, purple tangs were doing 85 to 120-ish. Something like that, depending on where you went. And now my yellow tang's considerably more expensive than the yellow tang, but I've had them both a long time, and this is what I'm saying to you with the precautions I've took with this is that I'm really hoping that I can bring them in and there's no drama. So touch wood.
So how many tangs are you transferring over?
So the first phase is going to be a copper band and a sailfin tang.
Yeah.
Who were both in an 8-foot tank at the minute on their own, believe it or not, in the garage. The second phase is going to be, I think about 2 weeks after that is going to be the purple and the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And then the week after that, we've got a very large, probably 8-9 inch orange shoulder and a small convict going in, along with a fox face that's rather big.
That'll look superb as they swim, because it has a swing room just to glide back and forth, won't they?
And we've got about 25 medium to large chromis going in as a shoal.
So that's going to look absolutely stunning.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope they're all swinging the right way around and not upside down. But
it's just like the color contrast and the shape contrast.
Yeah, that's what I've done. That's what I've done. That's what I'm saying about the corals. It's having that contrast.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, is your yellow tang? Is it wild caught? So it is actually yellow.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
And ones that are captive bred, they look like a dirty white brownie color.
No. I was going to go Antheas because I've got some Antheas, but I'll be honest with you, I've had more issues with Antheas over. That is one fish that I've had a lot of problems with, the lyre tails, changing sex, fighting each other, killing each other, jumping out, not eating. I've had a lot of issues with Antheas over the years, and I think chromis are a very underrated fish. I really do. For what they add to the tank.
I'd love to have a shoaling fish like that, mate. That's just going to look ace.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's see. Before it's too late, can you keep us updated on your tank, Tom?
Yeah.
Sure.
How are we going to follow the journey, Tom? You're going to keep coming on here?
Well, I'm more than happy to come on and share ups and downs with you because let's be honest, it's reefing. It isn't, all jokes aside, it isn't always going to go according to plan. There'll be something that I forgot about, didn't go right, did do, shouldn't have done, all that. So I'm more than happy to. I'm doing a lot on, I'm doing a lot. I'm starting to do a little bit on Instagram. I've not really been a big Instagram bum up until recently. So you can follow the page at TB Corals. So what I am going to do is I'm going to start giving away in 6-12 months' time, probably through the channel. We'll talk about it. Some of the frags that I get in, because again, I'm not out to make any money, so I'm more than happy to give away to people to want to have a little bit of a dabble in SPS. So we can do that. But no, I'll come on the channel on Instagram, TB Corals, and share the ups and downs that we all have on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, more than happy to share it.
Great, perfect.
Yeah, nice.
Well then, time is right. So,
feels
Paul,
like bullseye.
whenever you're ready.
Is there anybody's name not on the wheel? Does everybody can see the name?
Everybody.
I can't see mine though. Where's mine?
Well, one, you're not allowed, and secondly, you didn't put your name in the comment. You didn't put grow and grow. It's too late.
I wish I was still on holiday, and I just put a random name in there.
We would have ignored it. Right, I think on the basis that no says that's missing.
Good luck, everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Julian.
Yeah,
congratulations,
awesome.
Julian.
Nice one, Julian.
Congratulations, Julian. Message me on Instagram with your details, and I'll forward it on, and then he'll get it sent out to you ASAP, mate. So once again, I appreciate Phil and Coral Essentials team for giving us that giveaway. It's much appreciated. I'm sure.
Thank you.
And I'm sure he'll love it himself. So yeah, message me, my mate. Cheers.
To be fair, I've been using that CV stuff. I like it. Yeah, I dose it every morning.
So have I. Yeah.
You like it, Jay? Yeah. Yeah, it's because you got it at the.
I'm going to be honest, right? I got it for free. Yeah, it's good stuff. Because I was at the what was it? Love to Reef.
Yeah.
And it said, "Do you want to try this? I'll give you it for free." I was like, "Okay." First thing I've ever had for free, to be fair. I was like, "Yeah, I'll try it for free. I'm a Yorkshireman. Don't want to pay any money." And I dose like a mil every morning. It's only a mil, isn't it? And then well, it seems to do something. I think it's just speeded up really the growth a little bit. I think that's what it's done. But
you're putting it in the tank, though, aren't you? You're not eating it.
It looks like I've been drinking it. To be fair, what's going on with these lights? Something lighter. Yeah, it's true. I think it's good. I think it's good. The one that I've got, anyway. Don't know about all of them.
No, I've been using the CV as well. And I think the colour's really good. I don't know if it's for colour or growth, but the growth has been really good and the colour as well. But
I agree. I think it's for like the yellows. You know, the yellows for some reason the yellows seem to pop I don't, in mine, when it's using that stuff, it's really brought the colours on for sure. I'm not saying much of the growth, maybe the growth, but the colours 100%, mate. You know what I mean? It's definitely helps in that sense for sure. Let's have a look. Let's see. Yeah, great to see you back, Jay and Tom.
Good to see you, mate, as well. I haven't seen you for ages.
Well done, Julian. So I'll say well done. Yeah, well done. Here's one from Steve. Jay, are you still dosing the mud as well?
Well, actually, if I'm being truthful, I haven't put the mud in for about 4 or 5 months. For no particular reason, I just haven't been putting. Yeah, about 4 months, I'd say now.
What's this?
For no particular reason. This Fiji mangrove mud.
Pinnacle mud.
Basically, nutrient rich. If you like your nutrients are crashing, it's amazing because it obviously it really does.
Like the one that the Aquaforest do as well, in the foil bag. It's like a sludge.
I haven't seen that.
It's a similar sort of.
It'll be a similar concept.
Similar product.
Yeah. Be a similar sort of product. Yeah. Well, this was the Fiji. This was the Fiji mud. The Fiji mud, and the one that Jay's got. You used to rave about it, didn't you, Jay?
It is good, mate. I'm not saying I wouldn't use it. Like, I would use it again. I just, at the moment, my nutrients are like where I want them. So I don't want to like
so you don't want
to I know where my nutrients are because like my fungia plates, right? When the nutrients are balanced, it's the polyps on the fungia plate that I got from AAC. They really extend and it's really puffed out. When the nutrients get too high, it kind of like starts to retract. And that's how I know my nutrients. That's like my nutrients are getting too high, and then I have to do a little water change. And at the moment, my nutrients are like where I want them, so I'm not having to put any mud in. So I just think if I add stuff, it's just gonna take it out of whack.
Fair enough.
Keep it where it is.
Absolutely.
Miracle.
John, he uses the miracle mud in his sump.
You don't hear about it anymore these days. It used to be a really big thing a few years ago.
Hard to get, isn't it?
People putting mangroves in it and everything, and now you don't hear anything.
We can't buy it because it's been banned. The extraction's banned.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Conserve the
I do think some of the tanks with the mangroves that are growing out the back, even though they probably don't do much, they do look quite.
They look good, don't they?
They look awesome.
Yeah, they do look good.
Especially at WWC, I think they've got a big one in that corner tank, haven't they? In the shop, they've got a massive one at the back.
In the big corner. Yeah, they have.
I'm going to say this now because my missus is in the room. We went to Cuba a long time ago, and she's shaking her hand at me, and I'm going to say it anyway. There was a boat trip, and it was to go mangrove fishing, and she thought it was mango fishing. So, still to this day, whenever somebody says about mangrove, I wind her up because she's absolutely going to throw something at me in a minute.
It's coming, mate.
Picture of putting a mango on a hook,
incoming
fish. But anyway,
mango fishing, yeah.
Oh, dear.
I had to say that because.
And you're still alive. Fair play. You've obviously got a good missus.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
We all have. We all have.
Yeah.
So I think we've all got up.
58.
There's another question at the bottom. Just a quick
Where's
question.
Have you hit the thumbs up for Steve's
algorithm
for his algorithm
and his money?
Whereabouts, Paul?
The last comment at the bottom.
Oh, right.
There you go.
Oh, there. Yeah, sorry. Jake.
Oh, the sun coral. Yeah.
Sun go.
Mate, it's really good. Well, it's here at the moment. It's a bit closed up. I absolutely love it because it's like it's something that you can position in a dark, sheltered spot of your tank. And obviously, we've all got them dark, sheltered areas, and often there's nothing there where you can put the sun coral there. Comes out. So when I feed the fish, about 20 minutes later, after I've fed the tank, the polyps come out, and then I have to feed the sun coral on its own, as it were. But yeah, super bright, like nice movement, lovely like polyp extension, beautiful coral. Absolutely love it. And I only learned about it, was it like 3 months ago? I didn't even know it existed. So about 3 months ago. And then I thought, you know what? I fancy one of those. And it's there. Absolutely love it. Wouldn't be without it, to be honest. But I think AAC have got a few more in now, haven't they?
He's got a small tank running where it's all sun coral.
Has it? Wow.
Yeah. He's got the tank from Fragbox from them. Yeah, for March.
He went to AAC, didn't he?
He went there earlier this week,
yesterday.
but he's had the tank for a little while because Paul's looking at bringing in the tanks from Canada and selling them because they're really nice small tanks. But he's got a tank. He's got mangroves in the back, and then he's got sun. I haven't seen it yet with all the sun corals. I haven't been in there for a little while.
I like it. I do enjoy that channel, Fragbox Corals. Good channel that is.
Yeah. You know what? He's so down to earth, that guy, isn't he? He's just like he just says it is, doesn't he, that guy?
He's funny.
To be fair, I do like watching him, to be fair.
Yeah, it's good.
So yeah.
Cheers for asking, Steve. Thank you.
So Reef Castle, that's him, yeah.
The Reef Castle is the tanks.
Yeah.
The brand.
Really nice. Because they're all like shallow reef, aren't they, as well? They look cool. Really cool.
They're not very big, I think they're 50 litres, I'm not too sure. But they're quite small. But look good.
Yeah, they do look really good.
Chaps, that's just about us, I think. So we've hit that milestone. But Tom, once again, mate, appreciate you joining us.
Brilliant.
Talking about your tank, it's been
you're
fantastic.
Welcome. Yeah,
so you're more than welcome at any time, mate. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, good or bad. Like you said, it's a testing.
Well, honesty is the key. If I've made a mistake, I'll share with somebody and they don't do the same. So that's
sure. No, absolutely, mate. So no, much appreciated, mate. And yeah, thanks to everyone who's joined us on this boiling hot day. So yeah,
brilliant.
Absolutely.
Just out of curiosity, really Jay, what's tonight's story?
Tonight's story is
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Steve buys a fish friend for his only.
You know what?
What fish does he buy?
Moby Dick it is. He's reading Moby Dick tonight.
Moby Dick.
Okay.
So we'll end on that.
Anyway,
till next time. Have a nice weekend.
Take care, guys.
See you later.